Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Veronica. Thank you so much for clicking the link to watch this video. Now let's get you to pass your PT test. Keep watching. The first piece of advice I can give you is practice. But I would never recommend for you to just go and take the test without any practicing. That would be a huge no-no. I am going to go ahead and link everything that I use down in the description box. I did do the new Air Force components, and I know a lot of people have questions on it, so I'm gonna get straight to the point, straight in it. The first thing that you're gonna do is, when preparing for your Air Force PT test, is practice. Like I said, you want to have the minimum amount of time that I would say you're pushing it, but go ahead, is 30 days. 30 days out, a lot of things can happen in 30 days. You can form new habits. You can really follow the couch. I think it's like couch to 5K model, and honestly pass your test if you push yourself a lot. But the best way to prepare for your PT test is, I would even say, 90 days out. Yes, 3 months before your test, when they give you the notification, hey, you're coming up due in 3 months, you need to make sure you're switching from doing whatever you're doing to passing your test. Like, hey, if I'm testing and I'm within my 30-day window, there is no other exercise that I'm doing besides my Air Force fitness components. So moving on into the strength portion of the test, the Air Force test is comprised of 3 different components. You have your muscular fitness strength test, your cardiovascular region, and you also used to have like your waist and your weight, and while they still take those, they're no longer a part of the overall test score. So they take those, though they still measure you as far as your weight, so be careful. Moving into the first day, I did recently just pass my test, so I know what I'm talking about. Go back and watch that video. It's kind of like a vlog style of me in real time passing my test. Of course, I couldn't film me actually testing because, you know, there's a lot of rules of that, blah, blah, blah. So the first component that we did was we got weighed. So the first thing that we did was push-ups first. So at game time decision, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go out here and bust out these push-ups as best as I can. While I was practicing, I still was not able to max out my push-ups. I do have this thing called diastasis recti, where basically my abdominal wall is stretched out due to having twins. However, the military says otherwise. So the strategy going into any PT tests should be to max out your score. After you have started practicing, the second thing that you really need to do is go and look at your gender, so male or female. Look at your age, look at that category and see what your max is for each component. For me, for push-ups, it was 31 with the hand release, or 47 for the regular push-ups. For the sit-ups, it's 50 to max out. And I think for the reverse lunge cross sit-up crunch, honestly, the name gets me confused every time. I think it was 47 or about 45, 47. But regardless, I always go into a test that I want to max out I have to max out my sit-ups. I need to get as close to, if not maxing out, my push-ups. And then that way on the run, I know that's my weakest area. I can kind of like make up for that and relax a little bit and take the pressure off. A 90 and above is an excellent, and that's like the top score you can get is 90 and above. And once you get that, you get a whole year before you have to test again. If you get below a 90, you have to test every 6 months. If you fail, we're not going to even get into that because it's not good. Again, the key to maxing out and doing great on the hand release push-ups is pacing yourself and having great form. Resting position is in a full plank push-up position, so you can't rest while you're on the ground. Don't do that or you're out. Moving on to the next component I did do was sit-ups, and I did stick with my regular sit-ups. Sit-ups for me have always been an easy check the box. I've always been great at them. An Air Force sit-up is basically, as you can see, you're not extending all the way up. There would be no way for you to extend all the way up and do 50 sit-ups in a minute. It's just not possible. While keeping your butt on the ground in that short a span of time, not possible. And even more for the men, they have to do more. I did max out on those. Now, moving into the reverse cross leg, reverse crunch. I'm gonna call it the reverse crunch. The reverse crunch. I was chicken and did not do this. However, my female partner that I was paired up with did, and she executed it well. Again, the key is you get 2 minutes to max this component out, and her pace was beautiful. It was honestly so slow, as you can see in the video. It was probably this pace, if not slower, and the resting position is lying on your back. So you could literally lie there, take a break, and you're good. For the new components, as far as the push-ups, the hand release, and the reverse crunch, I'd say go for it, especially if you're a female. Males, I can't speak for you because I don't know, but definitely at least try it in your diagnostic. Okay, moving on to the most awaited change that I have, witnessed and been a part of is the beep test, the hand and meter run, also known as the hammer, also known as the beep test. I was trying to find a beep test online and I found this old school YouTube video and I was like, this can't be the same. Oh wait, it is. So the Air Force did re-record the beep test with the Air Force rules and all the official testing. And again, look at everything that I've provided you down below. It has every single thing, demonstrations, and it has an audio recording of the beep test. That's the one thing that I wish I had time to practice was the beep test. The hammer test, I'm gonna explain it in like quick, broken down, as easy as I can get it. You're running and you're going in between the panels. You have to make it to the beep, and the time frame is like 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 6 seconds. It corresponds. You'll have to look at the details. The first level is the easiest level. Obviously, it's going to start you off slow. When I started to have to pick up speed was level 3. I got to what I thought was a great number and that I knew I passed. I just literally walked off and I said, I'm good, I'm out. And that's, you can DQ yourself whenever you're ready. And so I got 40 shuttles. So I sprinted 40 times back and forth, listening to the cadence, turning around. Your foot has to stay in constant contact with the line. That's how he had us do it. The beeps pick up cadence. We had one gentleman who sprinted, like I'm talking 4-second sprints right out the gate, burnt himself out. I don't know, don't do what he did, don't sprint. And then there's other guy who really took his time and paced himself, never done it before, and he made it so far. I think he was in like the 80s, which is really good. That's the hammer test. It's a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, it's so scary. I would say if you're not good at sprints or pacing and you're better at doing 1.5 miles, then run 1.5 miles. But no, the hammer test for me was amazing. So I wanted to kind of summarize this video. It's kind of a little bit of a lengthy video because I do need to explain the components and explain questions. So the first thing that I can say on how to pass your PT test, you need to practice at least 30 to 90 days out. 2, you need to strategize and look up on the chart your score, your category, your gender and your category, so you can figure out what score. Literally add the scores together to get your total score. 90 and above, excellent. Anything below that, still good, but you'll have to retest in 6 months. The goal is an excellent. You can do it. Number 3, the biggest secret, schedule a diagnostic test. The Air Force just approved that now you can have diagnostic tests before your official test. You go and you perform just like it's your official. That's exactly what I did. And I waited last minute, I'm not gonna lie, to schedule my diagnostic. And so the minimum amount of days you can schedule it, I believe, is 15 days before your official test. So if you at least have a month, schedule your diagnostic right away. You wear your uniform, you do your official test, and on there, if you like your score, you can say, yes, I want you to count this as my official test, which is what I did. I signed it. I said, yes, count this as my official test. Bam, I'm good for another year. The next advice, I think the 4th advice I can give you to pass your PT test is practice and look at the components. Time yourself, practice untimed, do the components, do the components, do the components. No matter if they're new, old, do the components so it's like muscle memory and that you go in there and you don't freak out. Basically, my last advice for you guys is if you're struggling with something where you need a doctor's note, physical therapy, whatever, get that assessed early. Don't wait the last minute, especially working in the clinic. I've seen a lot of people who really do have a medical issue, but they wait last minute, and it makes it very complicated if you already have failed your PT test. You're not gonna fail. Tell yourself, I'm not gonna fail, and push yourself. If I can do it a year postpartum, actually, I took my PT test 3 years later. 1 year off because of COVID, the second year I was pregnant, the third year I gave birth, and I had to take my PT test. Okay, if I can do it after twins and all my medical issues from the twins, then you can do it too. If you have any more questions, let me know, but I'm trying to keep it as like generic and open and succinct as possible. But really the strategy is look at it, practice it, do it. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you adieu. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I love filming military content. This makes me feel like I really am helping you guys. If I ever do help you, let me know. And I know I don't respond as much on Instagram. Honestly, I'm overwhelmed. So thank you guys though for your DMs. I do read some of them when I get a chance, but thank you guys so much. Bye.